Hi, I'm Joe Murphy. I want to talk to you about being congruent. This happens every day when you are walking into a meeting face-to-face or walking into a negotiation, and you want to come in where your mind and your body and your emotions are all in alignment so that people can see that you are a person to be reckoned with, somebody, a force to be reckoned with, someone who knows what they're doing and talking about. So I want to talk to you again about congruency, because there are some critical factors about congruency, because it has a lot to do with trust, has a lot to do with conveying what you say and what you do is honorable, and that it has integrity behind it. That is, it is authentic, your authentic self. Congruency has a lot to do with making sure that people understand that you're sincere. And I'm going to go through 2 or 6 different aspects on 2 different planes. Being congruent, or increasing your congruency, being congruent and increasing it, and what makes you non-congruent. And I'm going to come down here and draw a little T-square chart thing. All right. And what we're going to talk about is one of the critical aspects is that you have total concentration on your topic. Concentration. And that's what that spells, on your topic. You are so immersed in your topic that you don't allow stray thoughts to come through. And that's what detracts. That is a distractor. If you are allowing stray thoughts to come in, you will not be congruent. So I'll give you an example. You're going into a meeting and you're still thinking about the last meeting. Your boss was in, he may have said something to you that wasn't so pleasant. Or she may have said something to you that wasn't so pleasant. So if you come into the next meeting, you're going to an important negotiation or an important meeting with your staff, people can see you're not present because you're still thinking about that last meeting. We do this all the time. We forget to be present and on topic. This is a discipline you have to remind yourself of and continuously practice in your day-to-day activities, whether you're on Zoom or whether you're in the office. Total concentration on the topic at hand. It also means you're going to be prepared. So I won't get to that one yet, but that's very important. So this is number 1. And this is a plus. This is total concentration in the present moment on the topic at hand. Number 2, congruency. When you speak about emotionally, I'm going to call it emotional or emotionally oriented topics, or use emotionally oriented subjects to back up the topic. Okay? This is where, this is where we don't use emotionally oriented material. This is where we use, for example, prepared, and this is what gets me all the time. You can see people do this. Prepared gestures. There's nothing worse than prepared gestures. That's a fake. That's just terrible. You can see it. You can spot it a mile away. You can see something's wrong. You can feel it. It's insincere. Okay, so prepared gestures, expressions. It's almost like test driving a car. You're testing these out in front of people. It also might be prepared movements. I've been told I need to open up and wave my arms out. It's not natural. When you know your topic and you're on topic and it's emotional for you, you start using different gestures. Okay, so movements is another key thing. And what this does, it signals to the other person that you are not sincere and trustworthy. Okay? It's not good. All right, suffice it to say. All right, this one is pretty simple. And I'm going to come back and relate to it in a minute. When you're relaxed. And this comes back to this preparation thing, which I'll get into at the bottom, which I think is number 6. This one is you're rigid. You're stiff because you're not prepared. You don't know your subject. You're really not emotionally involved in it or attached to it. You're stiff. You're rigid. This signals to other people you're not congruent. I've seen lots of politicians on TV. If you ever turn off the sound and watch politicians, their body language, their smile is all rigid. They're fake. It's a fake. It's not what you want running your government or being the CEO or the president. I've been with people who were fakes. They couldn't smile, so they tried to do this. It was a grimace. I don't know how they got promoted. I don't know who. I'm going to say something bad. So the other one is you want to have some high energy, some amount of energy. Doesn't have to be extremely high, but high energy. This is low energy. You're sending out low vibrations. Okay, this is really critical because you want to make sure that when you come in, you at least enjoy yourself and having fun. Number 5. This is prepared. When you are prepared, know your subject cold, where somebody wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you could repeat to them the 4 or 5 key elements to this concept and say, here's the 4 or 5 key elements that make this thing so positive. Here's the 3 or 4 things that detract from it. And here's why we should go for it. And here's why we should move forward. That's the kind of energy. That's the kind of preparation we want. This is where we're going. I hope you can join us. We're moving in this direction. And if you can't join us, perhaps it's time for get off the train. We'd love to have you. Okay? That's the kind of energy and preparedness we want. This person is not prepared. They're winging it. So when you're winging it, people can tell you're winging it. You're making stuff up. You're winging it. Who hasn't tried to do this before? I have. I made a mistake. I've done that. Don't do it. You're hurting yourself. All right, and the last one, we'll wrap it up with this. It's being flexible to the audience needs. Be flexible to the people you're working with, to the people you're talking to. Be flexible. Because you know your material cold, you can move over in this direction or this direction. You don't have to stick to the PowerPoint. You don't have to stick to the speech. You don't have to feel like I have to go through this way or I have to end perfectly on time. I've been in so many different meetings at the Leadership Academy where people are like, okay, we got to stop and we got to ask questions. We have questions. And it's 12:30 or the hour comes up. I have one client that ends at 12. And I say, I'll stay on. I know we have a lot of material. And I jam too much material in. I need to trim it down. It's something, a lesson I need to learn. But I want to give people as much as I can during the Leadership Academy sessions. But people say, Joe, you need to end at 12:30. Well, I can, but that's not the purpose of the meeting. Now, granted, people need to leave. And I tell people, if you need to leave, go ahead. I'll stay on the call to answer questions. And usually it's that half hour of asking questions where people really come out and they express ideas and they're asking questions about how to act or how to be or what to do in a certain situation. And then other people will add their thoughts and their ideas. And that half hour of extra facilitated question and answer becomes so vital. Now, if I ended the meeting at half an hour earlier, people wouldn't have all that information to start asking questions. So these are 90-minute sessions where I do the training where people are actually talking during a session and I facilitate the discussions. But it's really important to be flexible. I could end the call at 12:30, but what would that say about me? Too many people think ending the meeting on time is proper. And I get it. It is. It's respectful because other people have different things to do. but I let people go. You can leave anytime during the meeting, anytime. These meetings are all voluntary, in my opinion. And in fact, when I held meetings, when I was a manager or vice president, I said, if anybody needs to go, if you already did your 2 cents or given your thoughts, please feel free to go. But people would stay on because there was a lot of vital information that got exchanged that they could use later. Anyway, I've gone a little bit too long. I hope this helped. You want to be congruent. You want to be congruent. I'm Joe Murphy, and I'm here for your success. Look forward to seeing you soon.